Well, head coach Aaron Best rejoins us here on the program. And, Coach, we've talked about, I think, 27 names here today. So your signing class is in the books for this 2023 year. Everybody is really looking forward to seeing these young men compete, whether it's in the fall of 2023 or sometime down the road in their future.
You said it best. I mean, compete. And that's our off-season theme, competitive energy. I think we need more of it. It starts with us as coaches. You talked about 27 names. They're going to compete with the guys who are already here. Some guys are already here, already competing. Spring's big, but we got to get through winter and the winter conditioning portion of things first. But I'm excited to see how this team rebounds from what we ran into last fall, which was not normal around here. And some of those guys have a bitter taste in their mouth, including myself. So winter, spring, and then we'll evaluate after spring. But the introduction of these 27 guys is a little bit more than we anticipated, but numbers are what they are, and we got to be a better team.
For the guys that went through COVID, whether coaches or players, do you think you've come through that now and gotten energized and you guys have recovered from that? Because that was 20 games in 2021 all told, plus the not knowing in 2020. That was a big lift for everybody.
Yeah, that's probably the best where I was going to go, Larry, is we talk about it was everybody. It's not us. There was teams that played more games than us, and there was teams that didn't play as many as us. And so it's not really us versus somebody else. It's how we handled those things. There's still residue. We're still getting interaction and getting guys into more seated classes that were in non-seated classes for a better part of a year and a half. It's always going to be part of our story. We did special things in those 20 games, and but we're trying to get better daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. And we got to get back to where we know where you've seen us, where we've been a part of a lot of great memories. And so putting those things to work and to test in the offseason is where it starts.
We've seen players from basically every position with the exception of running back and kicker punter here today. So you returned a lot of running backs, and so you didn't need a running back in this year's. You really didn't have room for a running back in this year's class, right?
Yeah, that 105 is always kind of moving a little bit, and some of the times we will go over at some positions based on health, based on outlook, based on productivity, and based on numbers. And so sometimes you don't need necessarily a bunch of numbers in a certain position. There's some positions you're always going to be in need of, O-line, D-line. But some positions like quarterback and running back were only really one play at a time, or most of the time. Some years are less than others, and we felt like there was a couple guys we recruited but we were going to be very selective. But we were okay if we didn't go down the road of getting a running back. We feel good about that room from top to bottom. A lot of special people, a lot of special players in that room. So we weren't in need, and we want to sometimes be lean on the need portion of things, but lean on the want portion of things. And we felt our room was intact, and we're going to go attack this fall with the guys we have.
Spring football is coming up starting in April, but the 2023 season is also coming up. The complete schedule was released last week. As we take a look at that, Coach, no Oregon, no Florida, but still a very challenging schedule. North Dakota State in what should be a fantastic experience at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, the Vikings home stadium, and then Fresno State, Southeast Louisiana at home. That's not an easy non-conference schedule.
Well, from start to finish, it's difficult. We want it difficult. And in some ways, like we talk about when we're scheduling these games, we're scheduling 4, 5, 6 years out. So you don't necessarily know how teams are going to be or where teams are going to be at that time. And so starting out with North Dakota State is going to be a hell of a test, having them playing a national championship game this last fall. Fresno State, we get to see a former colleague of ours. Pat McCann just got announced as offensive coordinator at Fresno State, so that'll be fun. And then Southeast Louisiana, it's a home and home with starting at home for us, which is great. And then obviously the slate of the Big Sky. It's not easy. You and I both know this. Secret's been out for a while. This league's way tougher, way deeper, way more competitive the last 3 or 4 years than it has and was the last 20 years. So we've got our work cut out for us, but we got to work on us before we get to any of these 11 games.
2 NFL stadiums in the last 3 years. That's got to be special for the players and probably help recruiting a little bit.
Oh, it's cool. And someone brought it to our attention here after the UNLV game. As a matter of fact, we were actually the first college game in that pro arena. The FBS played the night after, if I remember right, but we were the first official game collegially in Allegiant Stadium. So those are cool. That's great for the players, great for the coaches, great memories. But they're even sweeter when you have when you have your side of the scoreboard have more points than the other. So it's fun, it's different, it's awesome, and it's 2023. That's who we're going to play. That schedule is not going to change, and that was laid out well before yesterday. So time will tell how it all unfolds, but we got a lot of work to do before then.
And preparation is underway right now for the 2023 season. And when does spring ball start, and when do you get back